Was there one was there one formative thing that changed your life? Was there one thing that you experienced that helped you be the person you are today? For me, there was one day that changed how I thought about the world. And it was whenever I read a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book was formative for me, and it has sent me down a path of being a high performer, being efficient, solidifying and investing in myself, and honestly developing an entrepreneurial mindset because I had a system in place to be able to do so. I found this great resource that outlined kind of the key components of the book. If you haven't read it, I would definitely read it, listen to it on audiobook, whatever. So it's a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and one of the key quotes was success is not the product of daily habits, is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformations. He talks about how you identify based habits instead of outcome based habits. And there's really a system of behavioral change, and that you're not just formulating goals, you're creating a system to prevent you from failing. Bad habits repeat themselves again and again, not because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system to change. And if you're this is the idea of improvement by marginal gains. That if you're 1% better every day, you're 37% better every year. I don't know why that looks so weird. Um, the habit loop. The key is to make it obvious. Make a list of your daily habits. Stack those habits. So one of the greatest challenges in changing habits is maintaining awareness of what we're actually doing. So this is reflecting on what is going on with you. Secondly, habit stacking. Identify a habit that already exists and stack a new habit on top of it. After I do this, then I'll do that. For example, this I like to read highlights of the daily news, and I do it right after I work out in the morning. Environment design. Habits can be created more easily in new environments. So this is my productivity space up here. This is the space where I do my exercise, my occupational work. Um, a lot gets done in this room, and it's separate from the rest of my house. Craving, make it attractive. Temptation building, creating attractive behaviors while you're doing something you really enjoy. This is the idea of like watching TV while you're running on the treadmill. Join a culture where the desired behavior is normal. Yeah, this is the idea of having a someone you can rely on who's going through the same experience. Nextly, having a ritual. Create rituals to start the day and prepare you for a specific situation. Whenever you want to get in the mood, you just press play. Response, make it easy. Repetition is not perfection. With repetition, you perform a behavior unconsciously and effortlessly, and habits are formed by frequency, not time. Reduce friction. Prime the environment for future use so there's no friction. I wake up early in the morning to work out, and I lay out my clothes the night before so that I can just jump right into them in the morning to work out. It talks about the 2-minute rule, and that's whenever you're trying to start a new habit, to just do it for 2 minutes on a consistent basis until you build it into your routine as being an automatic activity. And you want to automate this. Whenever you can automate good habits and automatically bad habits, that poses you to be successful. Ask someone to reset your social media password on Monday and deliver the new password on Friday. I mean, that's a good idea if you were trying to quit social media. Give yourself immediate satisfaction, create a loyalty program, and make sure you're tracking your habits. I have a checklist of every day that I do the things I want to accomplish in the morning here. And how can you break a bad habit? Reduce exposure, reframe mindset, increase friction, create a contract. So this book, this is the idea of it. I found it so beneficial. I af- I read this book and I felt the immediate need to rework my how I interacted with the world. First, I got rid of goals. I didn't get rid of goals. I had my goals, but I found out that I couldn't pursue my goals until I actually had a system in place to actually pursue them. Your systems make your habits, which allow you to pursue your goals, which lead into your vision and your mission and your sole purpose. It's a continuum. It really is. After I finished reading this book, the next thing I did was I restructured my work environment and I created slowly over time a system to produce efficiency. And I optimized where I personally could have produced more. And one of the first things I did afterwards is I got an MBA. And I did it through the Quantic School of Business and Technology, while I was working a full time job early on in my career as a physician. And after I got my MBA, it allowed me to be scholarly productive at work. I took over several leadership roles because I had a system that that I could fall back on to ensure that I was reliably getting tasks done, and people saw the value I was creating. Quickly, I have risen up in the ranks at my institution in which I work, and I owe it all to this book, making small changes and having remarkable results over time. Some of the lessons learned are I feel like that I feel like helped me are in this 20 lesson list here. We can go through them together. It takes practice and repetition, but at least I knew I had a system to fall back on to allow me to continue to produce good behavior. I've also been consistent with exercise in my physical health. I've probably in the best shape I've been in since I was in college. I eat healthier. I feel great. And I created a method in which I can balance family time, work time, and personal time. And that's what it's all about, is having that life balance for the different domains. So let's go through the 20 lessons from Atomic Habits. Success is an aggregation of small wins. First, we make our habits, then our habits make us. So true. The key here is you want to have a foundational small habit that you can build on, and then those foundational small habits build into your goals that feed into the legacy you're trying to develop. Consistency beats intensity. Eliminate friction for good habits. Master the art of habit tracking. I do it every day. I make sure that I'm marking off whenever I did complete something, which I didn't. Optimize your work environment. I talked about how I did that up here. Good habits take time to form. So make sure you have patience for this. Choose your social circle carefully. This is something that comes to the idea of relationship capital. So it's not only about who you know, but if you're trying to optimize yourself in any regard, especially whenever it comes to habit formation, it is truly helpful to have people around you who can strive for the same things. And to that, I don't personally have that type of a circle, and I was quite lonely whenever I was doing this. But having a workout buddy or a book reading buddy or what have you can be very foundational. Don't fumble hard earn progress, make the path of least resistance, find an accountability partner, talks about the social circle. Follow it's about the process, it's not about the destination. This is meant for you to learn from. And whenever you can reflect after you implement some of these processes and systems, you will find that it was really about the journey on how you got there that you find so valuable. Winners and losers have the same goals. Success is a lifestyle, not an event. Talk is cheap. You are your actions. Come on, people. That's what it's about. What you do in your privacy is a greater testament of who you are. Your identity is your future. Results are lagging indicators of habits, right? If you're trying to build a legacy, if you're trying to pursue goals, again and again, I've said it, that your goals are a result of your habits. Trajectory is more important than your current position, and you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. It's all about the system you create. Forget your goals, build systems. Systems are greater than goals. So true. It's a great book. I found it foundational, and it set me on this path of successes of building a system. I then pursued a method of investing in myself. I joined Wealth Factory, which I've talked about, which helped me continue to build my legacy, but have a system in place in which I can continue to build upon it. I have produced scholarship and become a leader in my institution and my workforce. And the book has just given me the foundation to optimize workflows so that I can be successful. And that's what it's really about. Before you get into, you know, white coat investor or some of the other mindset books, self-improvement books, I would say this is the first one to read. This is the one that puts the other ones in a place for you to really take it in. So that's all I have to say to you today. I feel like the stream was a little bit choppy. Who knows what the stream health is? Check it out. It says it's excellent. I don't know. All right. Well, so what I have to say to you is that Atomic Habits, I would read it. I highly recommend it. And it's foundational in helping you find your pitfalls in your hour by hour work and replacing them with highly efficient systems to prevent you from failing. So, this is Michael with Aimed Intentions. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you all next time. Bye.